Hello everyone, I am Misbah Mehboob Awan. I am doing PhD in Software Engineering from National University of Sciences and Technology, Pakistan. My thesis is supervised by Dr. Wasi Hyderabad and co-supervised by Dr. Muhammad Wasim Anwar. Today I am presenting my research work that is based on xtext framework. Basically, we have provided a collaborative working environment where a number of users can work together at the same time and can collaborate over projects belonging to different domains. This research work is supported by ITIA Bumble project. So basically, we have proposed a collaborative working environment that would be a web-based environment where different stakeholders can work together no matter what time zone or region they are in to produce deliverables according to their work responsibilities. For implementing our collaborative working environment, we have used xtext because xtext is an award-winning framework for building such tools by specifying domain-specific languages. So we have proposed a comprehensive and an automated framework which facilitates shared understanding of the project domains on which different users are working on. So an overview of abstract view of what we are going to propose is described in this figure. Here user 1 has his own responsibility. This is the runtime instance of user 1 with responsibility 1, then runtime instance of user 2 with responsibility 2, and so on with user n runtime instance with responsibility n. You can have different categories of users depending on the requirement. Like you can have general user, you can have super user, or you can have admin user. They are working on this working in this collaborative working environment that is facilitated by xtext domain specific language, and here they can see the merger of all the instances from all other users and can get and the insights of the project in which they are working on. So the proposed framework provides a collaborative environment where multiple stakeholders can work on same work assignment simultaneously, and the user can see a consolidated or combined merger instance of all other users so that they can have insight of all the other users on which they are working on. And the framework can keep track of validation errors both in individual editors and merger editors, and the content assessed via collaboration of some external tools, and the framework has been validated on a Volvo case study from Bumble project. So this is an abstract view of xtext collaboration engine. These are the four layers, in which the first layer is based on xtext domain specific language. Here the definition of DSL has been done, and the validation rules, content assist, and other tools interoperability like exml has been done at this point. Then we have xtext web-based interface, where web-based editor where we have a front end of our web-based editor, responsibility assignment, real-time merging of instances from all other users, validation and constraints are defined at this place. Then we have model and controller, where user session management is done. Event management has been made at this point, and it is the intermediary between the xtext web interface and the database. And finally, the database management manages the runtime instances, the temporary instances, and the log management. Log management is one of the most important thing where multiple users are working on the same project, so that we may keep track of which user had made what change. So log management is important in our collaboration working environment. This is the proposed framework. This is a detailed architecture of our proposed framework. Here the first layer is xtext in Eclipse, where we specify domain specific language or DSL, validation rules, content assist, and exml collaboration with external tools has been made. Then we have xtext web based interface. We have used ACE plugin at this point. There, here we have a number of instances of users. Each user can have an his own personal editor for writing DSL and a merger editor just to display the merger of all the instances that are present at in the domain of that project. User 2, user n, user admin. You can have multiple user with multiple role assignment. They can be a generic user or a super user or admin user depending on the requirements. So they can persist the runtime environment. They can display the merger of user can display the merger of all other users instances. They can save the user instances whenever they want. And an important feature is that they can the auto persistence of their working environment after every 10 seconds, so that they may not lose their working environment due to some problem in electricity or some other unforeseen scenarios. Then we have model and controller layer, where there is a server controller, there is a real time session management, persistency manager is here, and model controller is here. And finally we have a database management system that we are using. For a validation case study, we have taken a Volvo from the Bumble project, and we have validated our proposed framework on this case study. So we have used xtext framework to write the domain specific language of Volvo and provided a web-based xtext editor for individual user instance, its persistence, validation, error checking, and content assist via the tool collaboration. And additionally, we have provided the log details of all the user, so that the changes have to be it can be traced and drilled down. So for validation for xtext domain specific language, we have this xtext DSL of Volvo. Here at abstract level, we have a file that has top package, then top package has some attributes with sub package. Sub package can have another package that can have multiple elements, so on and so forth. So this is the DSL and a comprehensive DSL of Volvo case study. Then we have EXML collaboration via East ADL tool. So basically we have used this basic www3.exml file. It has all the information that is required for our Volvo case study, and we have used this for managing our content assist in our web based interface, where the content assist gets all the information from this file XML file, and shows displays that information as a content assist drop down menu. Then we have this model and controller. I'll show the model and controller in the working environment. So this is the xtext eclipse, this is the eclipse working environment. I have created the web xtext web based project here. This is the package DSL of the Volvo case study. It has, as I have already shown in the screenshot, that it has top package, sub package elements, and it is a comprehensive implementation of Volvo case study in domain specific language. So this is the EXML file that we'll use in our drop down menus as content assist. Further to this, we have implemented our content proposal providers for web-based interfaces, and all the fancy work is done here. And this is the web project. So here, for front end, we have this login.html page. Then we have home page that has two different editors. Then we have this logout page. Then we have this log page that displays the log of all the instances that we are maintaining in the database. Then for backend, we have this package This is the servlet utility for managing the in and out flows towards the servlets and outside the servlets. This is our user class that manages the temporary and the permanent runtime instances along with username and passwords. Then this is the DAO class, data access object class, and this is the user login servlet class that manages the interactions. So we have implemented MVC model view controller and separated all the layers of the project. So now coming back to the presentation. After model and controller, we have database management system. And for database management system, we have created these tables in the database that this ER diagram depicts. Is a user login table with the user and name as a primary key attribute, and the temporary instance, runtime instance. Runtime instance is the permanent instance that is intentionally saved by the user. Temporary instance is the auto save of the user's runtime working environment after every 10 seconds. Then we have this last updated by and last updated on. For log maintenance, this is the runtime instance log table. Runtime instance log table, this is its primary key, this is username is the foreign key of the other table created on, and this is the runtime instance. This is the relationship between the two tables. Has a This is one to many relationship. I'll show you the database we are using. MySQL Workbench. This is the xtext DB. Here we have two tables. User login table. User login table has password, username. We have defined few users have with their passwords. Then the temporary runtime instance that is saved automatically after every 10 seconds, updated after every 10 seconds. Then we have runtime instance that is saved on when user clicks on save button. Then last updated on and last updated by. Then we have runtime instance log for maintaining log. This is the ID runtime instance against which user. This is the foreign key and created on. See, this is the basic architecture of our database that we are using. Now this is the xtext web-based interface that is using ACE plugin. Now we will run our project and I'll give the demo of what we have created. So I will run the server. Okay, so I'll run the local host. This is the main interface or login interface of the project. And the user John is already saved. We will log in to the application. This is the main interface of the application. Here we have two editors. This is the editor that user will use to write his own instance of DSL, and this will only be used for showing the merger DSL from all other users. I will now log in the other user in another web browser. So this is James. So he has his own working environment, and for example you can see that name should start with a capital letter. This warning validation rule has been implemented. It's on in small letter. Now the warning disappears automatically. And in third editor, we will use the super user. Super user has more rights to write the DSL than other users in this implementation. So this is the runtime instance. The user can update, for example, the name top package and save this instance. Now this instance is saved back in the database. This part is used for showing the instances from all other users as a merger point. For example, we will see the merger at this point. So this is define timing. If show merger will occur, the top package has been updated as it was saved by the user, and it remains still here because it was updated by the user at this point, but it was not saved, so it was not part of the database. So the merger instance is shown from the directly from the database and not from the front end instances. The merger instances also shows that the above part is updated by super user on this date and this time. Similarly, the other point, the above part is updated by James on this date and this time. Similarly, the join user, here you can see two different errors that occurs because the validation rule was that execution time constraint start have to be unique, but because of merger two different execution time constraint occurs and they created the problem. So the admin user can change this and can vet the so now it's the responsibility of the admin user to correct these errors. So now the admin user logs in. So the admin has a different environment now. You can see the show log button that is only accessible to the admin user. Show merger, then the merger of all the instances will be shown. The admin user can copy and paste it in his own editor. He can change the name. Now the error disappears, and he can make other changes if he wants to, for example this. And now save runtime instance saved permanently by the user admin. So now if the user want to see the log, this is the log maintained for tracking changes by different users. This is the runtime instance, this is the saved by instance, and this is the save on instance by different users. So here user can see the log of all the users. So this was the xtext web-based interface. I have already shown this DSL web interface. So the benefits are the proposed framework aids shared understanding among all the users that are working in the same domain that are at distant places, but they can see the work of all the other stakeholders and can get insights of the project that what's going on. It eliminates the inconsistencies and inaccuracies by using the merger facility. The proposed framework is generic and works equally well for any domain specific language. Thank you.